Hello, everyone. This is Ilyas, co-founder and CEO of Replenit. Today, for our Visionary Investors episodes, the first one is launching together with Bülent Çelebi. And thank you very much, Bülent abi. Thank you very much for your time, and we do appreciate this session. And then before giving the mic to you, it will be great if you can do a short introduction of yourself for our audience.
Thank you for having me here, Ilyas. So in a quick nutshell, I was born and raised in Turkey and then moved to US Silicon Valley with my parents. Went to UC Berkeley for a EE degree, and then essentially worked in the semiconductor industry for 20 plus years. Over there, ultimately being a professional CEO for one of the startups, one of the VC startups, and we were basically doing chips for the Internet of Things. We were 25 years ahead of the market, and so that didn't go very far. But I learned a lot from the process, and decided to form my own company. Airties, and so basically using some of the similar vision, and the vision was to connect everything electronic inside the house to the internet, and to manage the Wi-Fi inside the house. So we formed the company here in Turkey in 2004. We were the inventors of mesh technology inside the home, and grew the company worldwide to over 60 million subscribers over the world. It's a software SaaS type of a company. And the typical customers are AT&T, T-Mobile, Deutsche Telekom, Vodafone, etc. And a few years ago, I sold it, fully exited, and here I am. So now I'm doing angel investing and mentoring.
I believe everybody knows what is AirTimes. I think one of the very first router that I have used, I can say. I remember it, and then when I was I believe in high school, I started using it, and it was the very first the wireless router that you can use at your homes. And then I do believe, Abi, your invention was at every home in Turkey, at least I can say.
Yes, we did quite well in Turkey.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So, the becoming a startup founder, and then the founding, and then the making it a scale up is a great journey. But how did you decide to become an investor? What was the main driver that you would like to be an angel investor? Because it's a bit of a different than becoming a VC. Then because the angel investor means that as well as not only injecting the funding, but also the support, where I can say that the VC it greatly. So can you please a bit of a mention, how did you decide, and what is your ultimate goal?
I mean, this is a personal choice type of a thing. I mean, after I got out of exited Airties, I didn't want to 100% retire, but I didn't want a responsibility either, because I mean, I did it. I did my thing. I got my, I did the exit, etc. So then the question becomes, well, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I don't necessarily like the VC path for me personally, because believe it or not, you spend more time with limited partners like me bugging you about what you're doing, etc. Instead of actually working with the startups and helping them and helping them grow and go through their problems. And so what I really wanted to do was to take whatever experience I had, and how do I pass this on to good founders and startups and things like that, and take advantage of that knowledge. I have so many arrows in my back of all the bad decisions I made So at least I can sit there and say, look, I did it this way, and here was the results. You might want to think about something a little bit different. And so I enjoy the mentoring part of it. So it's much more the mentoring and helping the community is what drives me, instead of, I'm going to invest this amount of money and then get a big return back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's definitely what we were seeking, and then we were so grateful that we met you. I will come to that part as well, and then I can like to happily say that like there were a couple of decisions that we made like during the way from the day one, like you impacted a lot, I can say, and then I do believe that like we are taking advantage of your experience, and thanks for like giving back to community. I'm very grateful that one. What is your if I go to the next question, what is your favorite least and most sector vertical to invest in, and then how did you and if you can continue with your introduction of Replenit, it will be great, Bülent abi.
I mean, I don't necessarily have a sector theme, but I do. I mean, there are a couple of criteria that I like to see. Number one, I want to understand the business. Okay, so for example, I don't do crypto because I just don't understand it. Okay, and I know a lot of people have done very good there, but I can't relate to it. I can't understand it. Even games are very successful over here.
Definitely.
But I have no clue of understanding what the business is all about. Even when you have a very good founder who's explaining it to me, because because of my age, I guess I've never been a big game player. So because of that, I prefer to invest in businesses that are more B2B oriented. And I also like, outside of having a very strong team, I also want to see some technical advantage that can be portrayed. So that it is not just pure marketing, but there is something to the product that can be sustained over a longer period.
I do believe the product idea itself, what you are mentioning, like the entry barrier itself creating, and then how can it survive in the future, and then you would like to see the technicality of it and then justify with it. And if I correlate from this point to Replenit, so how did you make a decision of you are the very first the investor, and then the very first person who made the decision of investing in Replenit? So how did you decide Replenit is a must-have, not another wait and see marketing technology?
Two things right off the bat. Number one, marketing technology seemed like an area, a market space that could take huge advantage of artificial intelligence and in many ways be disrupted by it. So that was attractive to me. And by the way, these days, pretty much every one of my investments have some AI ingredient in them. So the market space seemed good, but the team was unbelievably good. Okay. One of the things I find, which is very difficult to maintain these days, is a technical differentiation in the AI world. And one of the keys to be able to do that is the domain expertise, meaning the team really understands the market space very well. And you and the co-founding team, coming from Insider, you guys knew the space inside out. I mean, I didn't have to question, do they really know what's going on or not going on, et cetera. So So the domain expertise is very key. The other thing that in particular with the AI related type things is a strong business development team is also very, very important, because the how fast you can actually go into a market and then penetrate it is very important. And you guys also had that. So those two were the things that really attracted me. I didn't understand what your product strategy was, okay, but that came later. But those two things attracted me to say, okay, I want to know more and I want to learn more.
Definitely, definitely. So like this is really great answer, and then I'm very flattered to hear that you like the way we work, and then I can like to definitely say that like we do see your support, and then today where we are, you have great contribution so far, and I would like to walk this like the long journey together for sure. So like you have seen a great team, you have seen like the great understanding the market needs, but like we also needed to do some things. So if you look at our very first days, and then our claims, or our like where we want to go and where we are right now, how do you evaluate these? Are you satisfied? If we put a scale, yeah, this team done a great job. From 0 to 10, I give them 8, 9. However, how do you feel about that one?
Well, two parts to that question.
Mm-hmm.
One is the market validation piece.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, market validation is by far one of the most difficult aspects for any startup. You guys did a superb job of engaging with customers, really understanding what their pain points are, what their problems are, and then coming back and saying, okay, if we do this, we are confident that this customer or that customer is going to buy. And you already had all the inputs, even way before I invested. I mean, that was part of the discussions. The things that were not so clear were exactly what is the product, how is it going to really differentiate, or what is the key factor that's going to go there, and interacting with you and the rest of the team. I mean, that evolved dramatically over time, right? Over the last 9 months, I mean, it's gone from we really don't know what it is, to something that's very, very solid, and with a very strong engineering team now, and a AI agent vision that is very, very complex. So it has evolved dramatically over time, and what's also wonderful is that the team has been positively impacting. It's not. You go into many. There are many startups I've gone into, and quote unquote tried to mentor, and you make suggestions, and they say yes, 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 and then a month later, it's more or less the same.
It happens, Abi. It happens. I know.
And what's refreshing with you guys is you have the debates, and then a month later it gets done. So that's really good. That's you guys are super at that.
I think one of the advantages of like having really long experiences from a unicorn startup like they gave us this. I can say that like one of the most successful one in martech space in Turkey, and then we learned a lot, and then we experienced a lot there, and then we definitely like implement the best case strategies and then what we learn from them. Also, like on top of them, we believe like we need to be humble. And then we definitely value every single like the feedback that we are receiving. We are judging ourselves, and then we are saying that yes, this feedback is really valid, and then we need to adapt the change, especially with the part like your agentic direction, like how we can like they define the MVP of the like the long tail market, especially Shopify Klaviyo. So like we also see the like the positive benefit. This is a business, and then we do believe that you also believe what we believe is a goal, and then that's drives us a lot. And then I'm very happy to hear that. That's also like the quite new things that I'm learning what you are thinking about us, and it's really like the enjoying to listen to you so far. So any surprises that you experienced with us, positive, negative? What was the one of the thing, Ilyas, like I really like this one, it was a great surprise, or it was a great achievement, or I also remember that this was a like another thing that I expect, if you can say anything in your mind.
Good question. One of the positive surprises is you've been able to bring on board partners. When I say partners, potentially competitors, the MarTech leaders, competitors that, many people, many of the VC community is going to sit there and go, oh, this is a red ocean, and you guys are one more. Instead of competing with them, they've become partners for you guys. And that's a remarkable achievement. Okay. So you've done a super job of managing that. You've made on the I wish we were doing a little bit better angle. I really think for you guys to succeed, you really need to manage the market verticals. And you need to go after them one at a time, because it impacts so many different things. It impacts go-to-market. It impacts your value proposition. It impacts your product definition, etc. And actually, probably one of the most important points about going after a vertical is the data set that you have to train these AI agents. Right? Mm-hmm. So if you have 10 customers and all 10 are from different, market verticals, then you have data from different ones. And the AI that's going to be trained is going to be only as good as that data. But if you have 10 customers from one vertical, it means you have 10 times the data for that one vertical, and the AI agent is going to be 10 times more efficient, better, etc. And you'll just go way ahead of any potential competition, because let's face it, you're going to get competition coming out of the woodwork. Everybody who's going to sit there and say, okay, I know how to program a LLM and an AI agent, and they're going to come after you. And what's going to really, the differentiation is going to be your domain expertise, which means you know how to train and what features that is really required. That's one part. And the other part is how well the data you have and how well you are training the AI agents. And so we need a little bit more work on really getting a little bit more vertical focused. But I know you've been heading down that path. So
definitely, and it was like one of your suggestions. I can still remember, like initially we were targeting the broader total addressable market, but our discussions and even hard negotiations, I can say, I didn't want to implement it because it was scaring me that our total addressable will be small, and then we will be having less amount of the potential clients, less closing, and then the next funding rounds will not be in a level. But thank you very much for that. I'm really grateful. We focused on a replenishable category, and then definitely we will expand. But right now we have 20 clients, and then we are talking the big domains in global scale. And then it means that in 1 or 2 years time, the beauty, cosmetics, pets, mom and kids. If I talk about mom and kids, Turkey, MENA, and then Qatar, Saudi Arabia, one of the big domains are already with us. So we have agents for those. And then once we see that we have a good, accurate agents in each vertical, of course we would like to increase our total addressable market. And then thanks to your advice, I do really appreciate that. And then we are how can I say, we are collecting what we planted 9 months ago, I can say, and then
Yep.
it is working quite well. We also focused on the algorithm point of view with a specific vertical. I recently shared with you our Lockstown performance is spectacular, and it's getting better and better every day because itself it is learning and it's improving. It's fantastic so far. So like right now we talk about like our how we start and then the where we come from and then what is our idea and then the like our pace. Since you are also super included in with our technical team, our like the principal of AI, head of AI, or CTO advisor, and then the technical team, how do you evaluate our product development and then the what we have done good in that pace in that aspect of Replenit? If you can give a couple of like the information, that will be great for our audience in who is going to listen this video recording.
Sure. I mean, there's a tremendous improvement and development because, I mean, when we first made the investment, the team was very small, and for the most part, it was subcontractors outside, etc. And now you guys have built a good team. With some really senior talent. And not only are you able to, execute well, you have a product that is very scalable, that is doing what is being advertised. And probably even more importantly, you have a very clear technical vision of the types of agents that you're going to be creating and what these agents are going to do and the underlying technology under the agents. I mean, you brought on a fantastic AI PhD. So you guys are really progressing, and I'm very excited to see over the course of this next 6 months to a year as this vision actually starts materializing with real products.
Fantastic. We are about to release, on top of like the replenishment, we are about to release our substitute, cross-sell, and then the churn agents. They are all on beta test. Like we are able to as well as test and then simulate the agents. Like currently we are in a satisfactory level in terms of the accuracy of agents, new agents too. And then the most of our customers at the very same time as well. Like the good thing, like after, like the starting the idea, it started really, like the baby steps. Right now it's crawling and about to walk. And then once we start with new releases, new agent releases, our whole customer base already subscribed with the new release of agents. They're really excited. I am excited too. Once we pull this off, I think like definitely next stage of Replenit's growth globally will be the target for me and then for the team. And then we are working on that one. So if I ask, what will be the what should be the top 3 achievements for Replenit from your perspective, upcoming to 24 months for a company it grows this fast and then having this direction within the AI agentic world?
Boy, well, first and foremost, I think is getting these the roadmap of the AI agents out, because I think that's what's going to make the huge difference. And then increasing the total number of customers that you are engaged with. Okay. And they don't have to be enterprise types. Okay. I mean, I guess what you guys call the mid-market.
Enterprise long tail. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's more than good enough, because the more of those customers you engage and get, the more relevant data you're going to get. And because that's going to be the real competitive moat. Okay. So that just means, you're going to get a whole bunch, as many customers as you can. Along with that, okay, as you get those customers, then you have a current product, which is the replenishment product, and then you're adding all this different capability. Your revenues will exponentially grow, okay? Because with every customer you bring on board, and the faster you bring them on board, the better, right? I mean, you know, bringing the time to value, really reducing that to days, if it's to whatever extent possible. And then getting engaged with, go in the door with a feature, replenishment, and then add this agent and that agent and this agent, and then that's going to expand your average revenue per customer dramatically up. And then I think you'll see an exponential growth in revenues as a byproduct of all, I mean, as the final result of it. I mean, I don't want to just say, okay, you got to grow the revenue by, 100% a year. I mean, how are you going to do that, right?
Definitely. What I can say over here, this doesn't mean that we are not going to engage with the enterprise clients. Our really pipeline is diversified, and we are really paying attention on that one. The 20-30% of them, we are still in discussion with enterprise clients. It's taken longer time, lots of stakeholders, and then we need to navigate in between those and then find a common point why they need to work with Replenit and why it is now. These are two questions, and on top of that, what is our strategy? Land and expand. What we are doing right now, the one solution, replenishment within the verticals that we focus, is a common problem. This is our land strategy. Then once we land there, we are taking out the whole consumer's life cycle by collecting the data, and this enables us to understand when it is the cross-sell time, when it's the upsell time, when it's the churn time for individualized one-on-one and an SKU level. So this is actually the biggest potential that we are taking. And then we are currently, what we would like to do, we would like to take our product to the market as fast as possible. Like you mentioned, why we prioritize our partnerships. We spend a lot of time by partnering with Braze, Bloomreach, Adobe, Iterable. On top of that, we are also in discussion with Salesforce, Optimove, and so on and so forth. So this will speed up our growth, which means that in 6 to 12 months time, the names that I mentioned, we will be able to integrate with a couple of clicks, which means that Replenit's integration is not a technical development anymore. It's just a configuration. So any marketer will be able to do that, and then it will speed up our enterprise deal cycles and they decrease the deal cycle drastically. And we already started seeing our traction that just because we are partnering up, driving more the attention from the potential customers who are using Braze, Bloomreach, Iterable, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So what is the not Replenit, but I would like to close the session. Thank you very much for a great time. I really enjoy doing this, the conversation. What are the top 3 suggestions that you can do, the really early days startup founders, what they need to do, like we do, or in general, based on your experience, that maybe top 3 you can mention? It would be great for the people who are going to listen to this recording.
Okay. In particular with early stage startups, people are so focused on generating revenue, which obviously, there's investor pressure. There's all there's all kinds of pressure to do that. What I see regularly happening is people go after everything. There's an opportunity here, there's an opportunity there, do this. And so this lack of focus is by far the biggest problem that I see regularly. I mean, this happens everywhere, wherever I get engaged with. So it's very easy to distract a founder or founding team into this opportunity or that opportunity. And it's not a strategic decision. Sometimes you have to pivot, but that should be a strategic decision, not a tactical, opportunistic thing. And the other very thing that is regularly lacking along with that is market validation. People want to, they keep on coming up with all these different hypotheses of, if we had this feature, we would sell a lot. If we had this, we would do this. And it's always go try to develop a better widget, a better product, instead of really understanding what the customer really, your target customer segment, what their real problems are, and validating that, and then saying, okay, well, this is what we're going to go after. So those would be my two big suggestions.
Fantastic. And then the very first one, I utilize it a lot, like by focusing on some search and like the direction. It's still super helpful. And then thank God I have done it. Maybe like if I was not getting those like the advices from you, we might not be at this point by having, maybe we could be having more agents for more verticals, but I doubt that will be like quite accurate what we have right now, where all of our customers are enjoying it, and I'm grateful for that. So what I can also say that I would like to add one more suggestion to the early day founders. Definitely find a really, really good angel investor. And the formation of a smart money, like Bülent Çelebi, I'm very grateful that he's part of our team too. And then definitely it will helpful. Definitely take into account the advices that they give. Strongly taken into account, and you will definitely, maybe not to reach everything, but definitely you will see that like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you very much for the conversation. It was super pleasureful, and then hope to see you again, and then in person again. Wishing you a great day ahead.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.